I have an audience on social media of more than 450,000, and this training literally blew me away. Every single month for Impact School, we bring a guest expert in to do a live training, and this one is all about how to create short form video content that goes viral. It is literally going to allow you to reach way more people, build your audience. So make sure to grab a pen and paper and subscribe. And if you're interested in joining the mastermind, there is a link below that you can click to get access. Without further ado, let's get into this. This training is pure value.
These are always the first questions that I get, and in reality, these absolutely don't matter at all. So we just make the side the shit that doesn't matter, and it's hashtags. Of all the viral videos we've made, none of them had hashtags. We just kind of stopped using them well over a year ago, and we stopped putting them on anything. And there was zero difference in views and zero difference in reach and zero difference in SEO. They just generally didn't matter. So we stopped using them. Posting times, we pretty much post videos. We've gotten a little more streamlined now because the clients we work with tend to don't like videos going up at random times. But we found when we first started in the business, it was myself, Luis, and another girl that was working with me was Savannah, and we would be editing all day because we had a huge client load and a lot of videos to edit. We'd post videos sometimes when we finished them, which was at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we'd wake up to 1 million views. We'd also get ahead and post them at like 8, 9 a.m. and they would get 1 million views. And all the way across the board, all the way across the spectrum, we just found that a good piece of content, the algorithms are so good that they just hold it and then they just show it when it needs to be shown, and it crushes. Posting multiple times a day. We posted once a day. We posted up to 9 times a day. We posted the same video back to back like 6 times. None of that really matters. What matters is that you're doing a good video and that the video is going to get views. And we found that, the sweet spot for a lot of people just to get started is 1 video a day. Some of the more experienced creators can go to 2 and 3, but anything really above 3, unless you are a machine for creating content, just kind of gets overkill and you start seeing a negative feedback there. Staying within your niche. Most of what I'm going to share with you is going to encourage you to not make content around your niche when it comes to getting reach and trying to grow your audiences. I don't really believe in the word niche anymore because it wasn't until I broke out of my niche and started making videos around my personality and things that I was interested in and what some would consider like alternate skill sets. Did I get my first like 5 million view video, and from that video I gained like 60,000 followers. So we'll get into that. I'm going to talk about that a lot here in a second. Reposting your videos. If you have a video that does good, meaning you made a video and it went viral or it got like 100,000 views or 200,000 views, just repost it again, the same video, don't make any changes, and do it as many times as you can until it stops losing its effectiveness. It's like an ad. When you find an ad that works, you keep running money at it. You don't stop. You put as much money as you can in it. The same thing is with a viral video. If it goes viral once, it is very likely to go viral again, if not a 3rd or 4th time. Now, in most cases, you will never succeed the first post, but in a lot of cases, we have videos that do 4, 5, 6, 7 million views. When we post them again and it gets like 900,000, then we post it again, it gets like 700,000. We post it again, maybe it might pop off again and get 1 million. But point is, if you have a good video, you can keep posting it. Subtitles. Since we kind of pioneered the style that you see, me and my team, like the reality is, if the videos are going to do good, they don't need subtitles to do good. Yes, they help. They're like a 5% of the actual reality of a video going viral. They're like the icing on the cake, the sprinkles, if you will. But most of the videos, if you stripped away all the subtitles, the videos are still super engaging, super educational, and super shareable, that they would still go viral without that. And we've tested subtitles versus no subtitles, and it, in the end, doesn't matter. So don't get all crazy if you like. I just don't have the time to do this. It's more of the act of just speaking on camera and making good videos. Trending audio and sounds, we don't use them at all. We never have. All those videos had no trending music. In our case, most of the trending sounds and audios, if you put them on videos, they're more of a liability, because what people don't realize is that when songs get taken off the platform for whatever reason, which happens all the time, if you had that in your video, you get silenced. The video is it's still there, but it has no volume. And we had this happen to multiple big clients, because we used to do this at the beginning, that were like, this is just too much of a liability. We can't do it. So we stopped, and we've seen zero repercussions of that at all. And that's what I mean by music at zero volume, is where people put the trending song on and then turn the volume down to 0 just so they have it attached to the song. Replying to comments. We've had some people go crazy replying to comments and also doing video comments. At the end of the day, when you get a viral video, there's so many comments you can't keep up. It doesn't matter anymore, and it doesn't really do anything to help. Whether or not you film with a camera and an iPhone doesn't matter. I filmed personally. My TikTok account's got over 100 million views. Probably 50 million of those came from a camera talking like this, and probably the other half came from me using a cell phone with a microphone standing on the street. And then editing inside the app. It really doesn't matter where you edit, as long as the video is good. So that's like I know that it kind of goes against a lot, but I'm going to prove a lot of that with data here in a second. But I know that for most of you guys, I just like jab the knife deeper about stuff that you've probably been worried about, and I can assure you it does not matter.
By the way, I want to know in the comments what trainings you want me to share with you next that are going to help you reach more people and monetize your brand. So drop a comment below.
I want to show you guys a client. This is one of my first clients. Their name is Adley Stubb, and that's kind of what where I adopted more of this broad reach style educational content strategy from. She was a prank creator. She's actually one of the biggest prank creators on Facebook. And this is just some of her stats. Her TikTok, as of like 3 months ago, she had gotten 433 million views. And that's like a side account for her. They run multiple accounts and they really just only focus on Facebook. They started a YouTube account. Her husband did just for fun to see how fast they could get it to 1 million, and they did it in like 24 days. So she has mastered the art of like viral prank and skit content. These are some of her biggest viewed videos on Facebook. 266 million views, 117 million views, 140 million views. And a video that I edited for her that was my most viral video was this one right here. It was this 48.9 million views, which is a video of like a girl getting cheated on at a Starbucks. It was purely fake. It was all a skit. And this video alone got her 600,000 followers. So when I saw these things kind of happening, I was like, okay, why are these happening? And how do I recreate this more with educators? Because I mean, some of the stuff they do is kind of stupid. It's just not like, I would never be the one doing it. I was really excited editing it because I mean, anytime I can edit a video that gets 48 million views and I can talk about it, it's a good day for me. But for the most part, it wasn't anything that I wanted to be a part of. I just have always worked with educators, and I just believe in like education. So what I kind of formulated from this broad reach content was what I call the HEM strategy, and it's short for the Hemingway app. If you guys are familiar, if you guys are writers and copywriters, they say that it's best to have your writing be read by, I believe it's like a 2nd or 3rd grade level, so it's understood. The problem with video is that when people start talking, they don't talk at a 2nd grade level. They talk at whatever level they're currently at, which is generally speaking very intelligent, especially if you're a thought leader, a coach, or somebody who's achieved a lot more success than the person that you're talking to. And the more you talk on video in a high level concept, yes, in some cases it works. You know, people see you as this massive thought leader, but in a lot of cases for the average person, it doesn't. And something that I believe it does work for is somebody like a Jordan Peterson or like a big, like, you know, big thought leader like that. You're like, oh, okay, it makes sense, you know, but you don't relate to it. You know, when somebody's talking, you know, at a 2nd grade level, how do you do that, you know, when you're not really on that level? We found that it was by talking about hobbies and interests. And the HEM strategy, which is the H, stands for hobbies and interests. The E stands for expertise, and the M stands for mastery. And then what that means is the average person on social media will tell you that if you're trying to grow, you should do 80% of your content around your niche and 20% of content around your lifestyle, your personality, and things of that nature. Well, we flipped it on its head. And what we started discovering is that the more videos we made about hobbies and interests, the more reach they got and the more viral we went. And what I mean by hobbies and interests, these are generally things that you do for fun. You're probably never going to make any money from a hobby and interest, nor would you want to. In my case, it's like one of my hobbies is CrossFit. So I made a couple of videos about CrossFit, and one of them got like 700,000 views. I also make videos about making friends because I used to help people, make friends, and it's like an interest of mine to help people be social. That video got 5 million views. Some other categories here of like what I would consider hobbies and interests is like lifting weights, finance, family, foods, sports, pet peeves, things that make you mad, overall general ideas, opinions. These fall into the hobby and interest category. And I assure you that if you look at the videos on your feed from educators that are going viral, it's generally not around their specific niche. Now, there are a few unicorns, which is like real estate, personal finance. They fall under the investing niche. So it's like, I love when a real estate investor says, oh, my niche is, real estate. It's like, okay, well, everybody wants to make more money. So you know, it's, there are, niches per se that are actual industry. Same thing with personal finance. It's like, well, everybody has a wallet, so it makes sense why you get a lot of reach on your videos, so keep that in mind. This is more if you're a coach, maybe you help single moms lose weight, or you help, busy dads, become better parents. Or it's like when you start really niching down and you're like, okay, how do I do this? I'm not really getting a reach. That's where this kind of comes in the strategy. So then next, which is 10%, is expertise. So if we're doing this on a 30-day scale, and I don't want to get too, if you guys have questions on this, please ask me at the end. I base everything off 30 videos a month. Like I said, I believe everybody should be posting at least once a day. If you're trying to grow on social media, that's a cadence that if you can't hit that cadence, you need to try harder, or just maybe decide that this isn't for you. Because if you can't do 30 videos a month, that to me, that's like filming for 2 hours, so that's where I base this off. And the way this looks is that's 20 videos around your hobbies and interests, and 5 videos around expertise, and 5 videos around mastery. And if you are like more of a content machine and you want to do more, that's 40 videos, 20. And then it goes up from there. So expertise, which is 5 videos a month, this is the things you've been paid to do in the past. Not necessarily what's making you rich right now, but other things that, a lot of people have been servers in the past, or bartenders, or bar backs, or maybe retail or retail sales. All of these are experiences that if you were even remotely good at them, you can make videos about this, and these get more reach because they're generally more mainstream careers, whereas like I used to be a salesman at Lowe's. A lot of people have done retail sales. So if I make videos about retail sales, I tend to get a lot more views on those videos because it's targeting a bigger demographic. And I'm not trying to go back into Lowe's and be a retail salesman. It's not something, another thing for me was I used to be a dating coach. I used to help guys dress better to get laid. So like that's an expertise of mine, but that's not really something I'm trying to get rich doing today. But I can reference that and make videos about it, and it helps guys meet women. That's another expertise. Then the next one would be, and this is like where I put here past jobs and skills, and then things you really like. Like you may really like golf, and you may actually be really good at golf. Maybe you're not trying to be a professional golfer, but if you make videos about helping the average person get better at golf, in addition to some of your other videos, you're probably going to get a lot more views on that. And then lastly is what we consider mastery. This is why you're rich, or why you're on the way to be rich. This is like, generally speaking, these videos will never hit viral capacity because they're like, maybe you're talking, like in my case, I'm talking to people that want to go viral on the internet. And it's like, okay, well, that's a very small demographic. So even if I make the best video, and it reached the most amount of people, let's say I get 15,000 views on that video. Yes, those in that case are what you consider the right 15,000 views. But what people don't realize, and why this strategy works so well, is you never get the mastery or expertise videos seen unless you reach the people from the hobbies and interests.
And if you want to get access to trainings like this every single month where you can show up live on the call, then go to the link in the description box so that you can apply to be a part of our membership. It's a highly vetted community, and there's entrepreneurs just like yourself growing personal brand-led businesses whereby you run coaching, agency, online course, info product empires. So go to the link in the description and the show notes, and I really look forward to seeing your application come through.
And what that means is if you get a video that gets 1 million views, for it to get 1 million views, there's no other way it'll get 1 million views, is about 50% of that audience that watched that video watched it all the way through to the end. Like, so that means that 500,000 people watched that video start to finish. Now, if they watch that video start to finish, now the algorithm, which is really good, is going to go say, oh, people really like this person's video. Let's go. And then they use the algorithm to identify all those people in that 500,000 pool that just watched that video to send all your other older videos to. And that's where these expertise and mastery videos really come into play, because if you're familiar with the term retargeting, which is, retargeting of ads, this is like free retargeting. So of those 500,000 people, let's say 25,000 of them, are a busy mom that's trying to lose weight. The algorithm knows that. So they send those videos to them. Your niche videos get sent to them. Then they send maybe an expertise video. Maybe they send another video about making friends, if that video is making friends. So next thing you know, all of your accounts starts rising, and all your other videos start getting shown to all those people. And the longer those people keep watching, the more your account builds authority, and your account becomes something that the algorithm now deems as an account that they should send show more videos up. And that's where this cycle kind of repeats itself. So every time you go viral for the next like 30 days, it's like all your account raises up and you start getting views on all your other videos. So that's kind of how this strategy works. And that's why, it is, different than most people. And it's not, I don't want to say it's easy, but it is, if you follow this formula, it is predictable. You make 20 videos a month about hobbies and interests. Statistically, every few months you should be going viral from doing that. And once you're going viral, that's when you see the huge spikes in followers. And I mean, on a lot of our clients, like the bigger ones, we aim to go viral a minimum of one time a month. And then, in some cases we go viral every week, and we can do that across multiple platforms. So that's where you start really seeing the power of this strategy. It's when you're consistently going viral. And if you have a business on the back end, you're getting more leads and you're getting more into your funnel, and the revenue starts increasing as well. So that's like the first strategy. And then the second one is what we call the Cub formula. Now, I know the hemp strategy is more higher concept, but now it's like, if you're talking about individual videos, this is kind of what needs to happen, when you're filming to make sure your video is going to go viral. So Cub stands for confusing, unbelievable, and boring. And think of it as like a checklist. Like every time you make a video, look at it and go, is this confusing? Is this unbelievable? Or is this boring? And if it is, then you need to fix it. So what makes it confusing is it's no single focus point. If you're talking about too many things, this is short form content. In most cases, you have a minute at max. And even that, most cases you have 30 to 45 seconds. If you're talking about multiple things, it's going to get too complicated. It's going to get confusing. Blue balling the viewer. This is a phrase we talk about because there's a lot of coaches and a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of internet people that they will, let's say you hate the carnivore diet. So like they will just rip the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet is the worst diet. It does this, it does this, it doesn't do this. It makes you feel like this and you feel horrible. And then the video just ends. So like, let's say I was following the carnivore diet and I was like, oh, I feel like this. I hate this. I know, oh, this is a bad thing. And then the video just ended. Well, that's what we call blue ball in the viewer, because what the video should have had was the solution to the problem in the video. And in most cases, that's hard for people to fathom because you probably sell the solution. And in the short form world, you just give them the solution because in most cases, it's a 1 minute video. They're not going to get everything they need, but they want to know that you have their best interest. And they're like, oh, well, they told me my solution, but now I need to figure out more about macro accounting because that seems to be the better way. So if you're doing that in your videos now, I promise you, if you stop doing that and actually give them a solution, you're going to start getting more views, and it makes it not confusing. No social proof. You should overdo the social proof in your videos. As far as like, if you say something, you need to back it up. If you make a large claim, back it up with some sort of proof. And if you have no proof of that, the internet's going to call you a scam and they're not going to believe you. And this is very hard for marketers. A lot of marketers do this because they've had, going back to, at the level at which people talk when they've achieved success, maybe making $10,000 a day is the norm for you. That's not the norm for 99.999% of the world. They don't have days like that. So for them to make like $50 or $100, so it's like you need to either talk where they're at or show proof of what you've done so they can believe it. Another thing that people do is like, oh yeah, I'm friends with Elon Musk. We hang out all the time, but they have no pictures with Elon Musk. If you say something like that, you must slap a picture there, and they're probably still going to say that it's photoshopped, but at least it's there and it's proof. Pictures not matching the context of what's being said. We see this a lot with and this is kind of what you get when you work with shitty editors or bad agencies. They're just slapping pictures and stuff just because it seems like it makes sense. So you want to make sure that like if a picture is being used, it's actually in context of what's being said, because it's another visual cue. And again, this can get, go really bad or really good, but for the most part, this could even be used with emojis. It's like if the emotion of the video is happy and they're using sad face emojis all the time, it's just a visual. It doesn't make sense. So people are just like, what the fuck's happening? Swipe away. Complex language, going back to, the Hemingway strategy. Like you need to kind of dumb your language down, because if you don't, then they're just not going to understand it. It's going to make it confusing. It's going to make it unbelievable. The video is too short and not enough details. If you struggle with, getting people to retain, when you think about the way audiobooks are read, audiobooks are very detail oriented because they want you to like feel what's happening. It's like the wind is rustling in the trees. I could feel that I could hear the crackling of the grass as I stepped on leaves. You want to have as many details as possible in your videos. And a lot of people fall short with this. And an example of this is like a video about journaling. It's like, yes, journal, if you made a video, it's like journal every day to be successful. I mean, from a 10,000 foot view, it's like, oh yeah, that's a great video. Cool. But if you really wanted that to hit on social media, you can go, okay, write this in your journal every day for 30 days. And then it breaks down even more. So every morning I'd wake up at 7 a.m. and I would write, I am awesome 37 times on a blank piece of paper, because I did a blank piece of paper because I didn't want any lines to be constricted. I like free flowing. And I would do this every morning, sitting at my counter with headphones on, listening to the same song over and over again on repeat. So it's like, I understand that was kind of a stupid, thing, but point being is all the more details you include, the more the viewers watching can feel that, oh, like this person knows what they're talking about. I can really feel it. They've done this, so if you're not getting views on your videos, you're probably not including enough details. The video doesn't flow smoothly. This is where, again, like bad editing comes into play. They're just chopping the video up and it just doesn't make sense. And it's like they're putting the wrong part here. So you got to kind of, if you're editing your videos, like be mindful to what's happening from start to finish. And again, this is different on every video, but if the video feels like it's choppy when you're watching it, it's probably going to feel choppy to the viewer and it's not going to get views. And then lastly, which is something that I see a lot, is lack of energy from the presenter. This is, you essentially are somewhat playing of a character on the internet. Like you want people to believe you want them to trust you, you want to sell them something at some point. So you need to kind of amplify your personality. And even the biggest people, yes, a lot of cases, they're the same person on and off camera, but every single person we worked with, the second we start hitting record, they get amplified. There's the persona that comes out. They're more direct. They're more, they're a little louder. Their tonality gets a little more aggressive, or they get softer and then they get higher. So, I mean, I'm not telling anybody to change who they are, but understand like maybe your weaknesses and your strengths. And like I can use myself as an example. I've always been very direct. And like when I turn the camera on, I get way more direct. And so almost to the point where it's like overconfident and narcissistic. And I get those comments like, oh, this guy's this and that. But I also get a lot of attention because it is amplified and it's a personality. So if you go to cubformula.com, there's a little more explanation of this. There's no email, there's nothing. It's just like basically an SOP that I gave my editors that went to kind of do a checklist to look through with that. And just so you guys kind of know, I want to go here and just kind of show some examples of videos.
Hey, Ryan.
So, yeah.
Can I just interject real quick? Just
yeah,
so we
sure.
have some questions popping up.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I was ripping through that. So.
I don't want them to like ramp up at the
lost.
end and we're just question after question after question, but just so we can kind of close the loop on some of these while we're still here. This is all really fantastic, by the way. I hope everyone's getting a ton of value. I can see that the comments are lighting up. People are really loving it, Ryan. Awesome. This is really absolute fire. Elle asked a question. She basically said like earlier on slide 2 when you were talking about the different things that don't matter. She was asking, do these apply for short form across the board, TikTok, YouTube, and IG Reels?
Yes. So one thing I should have clarified is we treat everything like a TikTok because they're the original. They're, in my opinion, they're the best. All the platforms basically copy TikTok. So yes, sure. It's like, and we repost the same video across all platforms. So it's like there's nothing changed. We just make sure that we edit all the videos without from a laptop, so there's never a watermark. And then we just distribute it everywhere. And yes, we don't put hashtags on anything anywhere. Same thing, all the trends. Like, and I don't want to say you can't get views with doing trends, and like hashtags might play a small part in that at some point, but overall, it's like a good video is a good video. It's going to get the views regardless. And again, with the trending sounds, it was just too much of a liability for the like when creators are paying me and my team upwards of like $200 a video, I can't have a video risk being silenced because of a song when it's like costing that much, for them to pay us to do what we're doing.
It's true. Yeah, I mean it makes complete sense. Actually, it makes you not want to use certain types of music in case that might actually happen. If something trends too quickly.
And we've seen it, like, I mean, nobody's safe from it. Like Mr. Beast has videos that are silenced. Like literally nobody is safe from that because for whatever reason, like Sony BMG is like controls the music industry on TikTok. And it's like, it's all controlled by the big record companies. And if like, let's say if, Taylor Swift pissed off and they just strip all of her music from the platform. And any video that had that music on it is now silenced. Like, that's just too much of a liability. Like, you know, maybe you like Taylor Swift and had her in all your videos. And it's like now half your profile is silenced. And the thing is like the algorithm still like recognizes that video is getting views. So if you had one with 1 million views, it's going to keep showing it, but it's going to be silent. And
yeah.
It's just like, what kind of a first experience is that for a new viewer to be like, yo, I watched like 4 of this person's videos and they all were silent. Like, fuck this person, I'm not following.
Yeah, no, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. Okay, cool. I think that nails that, and I really like that you pointed that out, because just all the stats in general of things that don't matter, just because it's too easy to get hung up on that sort of stuff. Like, is something going to make like a significant difference? And it really doesn't in the scheme of things. It's you can already see just from the get go. It's about volume of production and reaching the right people, and you're going to continue to dive in. I have a couple more questions I want to run through, and then we'll continue. Someone Manchi asks, for hobbies and expertise, can you bounce around and experiment different topics, open-ended, or better to stick to a few same ones?
I mean, I would say open-ended, but you'll find as you do it that the internet likes to hear certain things from you. As you kind of start developing your voice, you know, like, I mean, Brandon Carter, I used to about his example a lot. Like, people love when he talks about designer merchandise. So like Brandon obnoxiously buys designer merchandise to use in his videos now to talk about. Myself, when I started talking about tipping people well, I started getting a lot of views on those videos. I think there's like 6 or 7 tipping videos specifically that have gotten over 1 million views on my account. Like, I don't know why, but the internet just likes when I say tip a lot of money for random things. You know, so as you kind of, we've seen it like, I mean, in some cases, you know, with the real estate guy, if he talks about his private jet, you know, he tends to get a lot of views. We work with another client who has a jet. He gets a lot of views. Now, obviously, not everybody has jets, but you know, it's like certain things always pop off when you say it. You know, it's just a matter of kind of finding those things. But I mean, to start, I would not limit yourself to anything. But I would truly, like, you know, if you don't have enough knowledge to kind of make a complete video, I would probably work on the ones that you do. And you can list out, like, you know, I'm sure Lauren probably had you guys do something like this, you know, in her course to kind of discover like what to make content about. But everybody kind of has like their, you know, list of things that they're really good at, you know, but it's more like going beyond like your, you know, the expertise and the mastery and going to where the hobbies and interests are. Like, and it's like, okay, what diet have you followed for a long time? Like, you know, maybe you count macros. You're probably more skilled at teaching somebody how to count macros. You don't have to be a fitness expert to tell somebody how to count their macros. It's like talking to a friend. You know, you know, if somebody who's shredded tells somebody to count their macros, they're actually like, oh, of course you're shredded, it works for you. But if like a regular person's like, no, I lost like 10 pounds just by learning how to count my macros, and I use this app called MyFitnessPal, and I had to pay for it, and I was a little pissed off, but like whatever, you know, like, so you just kind of list out, like, maybe you're really good at cooking, you know, soups, you know, and like you have recipes, like, so you can do videos about that, like, you know, and you may find that this leads you down a completely different path, but we like to look at, you know, the beauty of like short form is you can go viral for anything, and then when you do go viral, certain ones are going to drive a lot of followers. Certain ones are not going to drive a lot of followers, you know. But again, you know, the ones that drive followers, let's say a cooking video drove you 10,000 followers from 1 million views, which isn't unheard of. Like, that's actually like 5,000 to 10,000 followers on like a 1 million view video is about standard. We've seen it skew really high. Unfortunately, that really only works for attractive females. They tend to get a lot more followers from 1 million view videos. If you're just a regular looking dude, you can expect around 5,000 to 7,000 per 1 million. But some videos do pop off more. Like, I had a 2.9 that got almost 19,000 followers last week. So it's like, you know, and then I've also gone, you know, certain videos, like, we just look at, okay, that's just good for views. And when I say just good for views, remember that the people are still watching it to the end. So they're going to show your other content. So over time, all of your followers will increase. So, but yeah, just to answer your question, I would, you know, if you're still trying to find yourself and like what you're talking about, just talk about anything, but pay attention to like which ones do better. And be like, okay, maybe let's try another variation of that, or let's try more, let's expand on that some more. So that's where, and that's kind of what I did when I started with my own account. I started with like dating and social skills. as like an addition to my video editing videos and my, camera videos. And then it's like, boom, like multiple videos, popped off. Then I was like, okay, well, I like CrossFit, so let's make some CrossFit videos. And then boom, one of those popped off. I was like, okay, and it's like now, like I just make videos about like anything I'm interested in. Like I would make videos about like Bass Pro Shop because I like their hats. I would make videos about the brand of sunglasses I wear. Like, so it really, and I do think that like in the short term, the followers you're going to get from this are probably not going to buy from you right away, but they're following you more for your personality, which I think over the long term, that is a stronger follower because one of our clients we work with, his name's Ryan Fisher. He owns Chalk Performance, which is a specific type of workout. He has an app, and he was really having a hard time understanding how like us having to make a video about his G-Wagon was gonna make him more money from his fitness program. And I was like, well, look, I said, when somebody follows your fitness program, if they only follow it for, let's say they follow it for a year, and then they're like, maybe they're bored and they want to go try CrossFit, or they want to try, somebody else's bodybuilding program. Because let's face it, nobody's going to follow a workout program forever. It's going to change. I said, what's going to keep them following you if they're not doing your program anymore? Like they're going to keep following you because they like the fact that you mountain bike and that you paddleboard and that you have a G-Wagon and that you live in Newport Beach on the water. Like they're going to follow you for you, not your workout program. So just something to be mindful of, like most of you coaches as a whole, eventually you want to coach somebody to the point where they succeed on their own. Like eventually they don't need your help anymore. Like, and when that happens, you want them to continue to follow you because they like you as a person, not necessarily because you help them do this one specific thing. It's like, no, I really like, in Lauren's case, like I love that she travels all the time and that she's more minimal, and that like I resonate with that. So you want to pull all those qualities out of yourself that you show to them over time. So I know that was another rant, but I hope that was
no. I mean, dude, that's fantastic because it just reminds people to not get so stuck in the weeds in terms of like, should I post this? Should I not post this? What's the long-term plan for my overall brand? Even if they don't think about it as a brand, just overall, because we know that long-term you can sell anything. You want to launch a different product, a new business, a different business, a new venture, joint venture, whatever. You can do that as you continue to expand and grow this audience, and it will lead to so much opportunity. And that's the benefit of people basically vibing with you. When they get to know you and your brand, and they're buying into that vibe, they're following you for that vibe, and then they continue to resonate with that. No, that's really, really fantastic. Okay, Jeanette asks, and this is more of a data thing that you can probably just confirm or deny. Jeanette asks, I've been told that posting every day for 30 days automatically tells TikTok to hyper push out your content. Is that true?
I mean, if it does it again, and I would say that consistency, it does play a major role. Like if you're an account and you're very infrequent, no, you're probably not good, because there is like I mean, I would call it account authority, and you see it kind of like accounts as they progress, as like certain like milestones are hit, maybe your first million view video, or like you hit 100,000 followers, or you hit 200,000 followers. Like it's like a snowball that happens. I would not say like just posting any video 30 days in a row, if it's all bad videos, it's probably not going to help you. But if you're generally trying and your videos are progressively getting better, yes, that is like there's a level of account authority that I don't think people think about, that the more you post and the consistency that you post, yes, I would 100% say that affects but I mean, just because you post 30 videos doesn't mean that one's going to get here. You get 1 million views now because you posted 30 times.
Perfect. Yeah. And that brings us to the last question, and then we'll keep going. Christian asked, and I can kind of lead off from what he means by this based off of what we speak in terms of helping people to get clients. Christian asked, when you have 80% of your audience interested in your hobbies rather than what you sell, does that confuse the algorithm? So your video is shown to more people that match to 80% rather than 20 that produces revenue. And basically what he's alluding to is if you focus so much on that, does it detract from being able to generate revenue? I know you're going to say that's false. Can you just explain that? Yeah. Why it helps to be able to overall, in order to build a brand and get clients?
Yes, and I will say in the short term that is true. Like the people that are following you that come from the more personality based videos are not. It's like cold ads. It's just putting you in front of everybody. But one of the things I've been making money on the internet for 10 years. And the one thing that I've always seen to be true is that at the end of the day, everybody's always looking for more followers, because the more you grow your audience, the more people you have the more people you have to sell to. So and this is where it's like a slight, I know it's like, it was even hard for me to like kind of do this at first. And then I just started seeing the clients kind of achieve success. Is if you take a pool of like, let's say, because a lot of people like to use the term the right audience. It's like, okay, so let's say that you're selling, like if you have 10,000 followers on Instagram and you're selling a $2,000 course, you make a story and you say, I'm looking for 5 people to do yada, yada. DM me the word, 2K, and I'll send you more info. And let's say, you do that the first time for, of the 10,000 followers, you might get 300 to 400 story views if you're doing really well and your account's really engaged. So of those like 400 people, let's say 30 or 40 DM you. Then you go to work, you start DM closing, you take them to the phone. You might get like, 5 or 6 applications, get on 5 or 6 phone calls, and then maybe sell 2 to 3 if you're exceptionally good at selling. You make like 6-7 grand or 6 to 8 grand. Cool. Then you go like a week later to do the same thing again. Now you're going to get like, 30 DMs, and the number just keeps getting smaller. So eventually you're going to make a story slide and nobody is going to DM you, because you have now sold to all the people on your following that are interested. So then you may be able to switch some sides around, start calling out different people. You're going to see a little influx there, but eventually you're going to run out of people to sell to based on your current audience, because everybody has like followers based on like following them for them. So the way that I looked at it when we started doing this, it's like, I would rather pull from a pool of like 500,000 people to find my right followers than 500 people. Because eventually, and this across the board, like we work with some of the biggest clients, they're all like, more views, more followers. We just need to keep growing. Help us keep growing. And at some point, you need to reach so many people that you have to be going broad. So that I know that's, when it comes to like short-term revenue, yes, I think that if you stuck just within your niche and you made only videos about that, I think you would make more money in the short term. But eventually, you're going to have to go, okay, I need to grow now, because I'm not making any money. And there's 2 ways to grow. You either spend a lot of money on ads or you make a lot of content and start going viral. So it's like, and right now we live in a time that making content and going viral is significantly cheaper than buying ads. So
it's true.
Like, and that's like, I mean, and I understand that it's tough, because like there is power in niche marketing, and I'm not like anti-niche as far as like I don't believe in it, but it's just, in working with the biggest people, like the conversations are always the same. I need views. I need to get in front of more people. And I'm going to do it with you, or I'm going to pay for it with ads. And most of them are doing both. So it becomes a spend of money thing, regardless which way you go. And if you have a good back end and you have money, like I use Brandon Carter as an example, because we started working with him at the beginning of last year, and he said he did. I believe it was 2 million gross last year, or the year before. And then he hired me and my team. And he said over the course of a year, the only thing he changed was hiring my team to do his short form. And he went from 2 million to, I believe, 4 million. So he did nothing different. Like he hired more salespeople because he was getting more leads. And that was when we kind of discovered, and none of Brandon's videos, like he sells to personal trainers. Like his number one video right now is like about watches. And his another one is about his $1,000 tank top. His ads now he's running are about his $1,000 tank top.
I remember that. I remember those videos, man.
And he was like, I don't know why it's working, but like it's working. So that's, I know it's kind of a blind faith, and I think it is slightly it just comes down to the more you're in front of people, and it comes down to a relevance thing too. It's like, if you're in front of people often, they're going to be consistently reminded about you. And if you're selling anything related to fitness, it's like, they may not be ready to buy fitness from you like now, but they keep seeing your viral videos. And they're like, oh, that guy's a fitness, or that girl's a fitness coach. I want to hire her shit. Or in Lauren's case, it's like, oh, I want to learn how to make money from my internet now. Like, cause I just got fired from my job and I fucking hate everybody. It's like, but it's also a timing thing, and you want to keep showing up. So like, that is kind of like the way I see it. And I know it's, I know part of it is like a blind faith thing, but I just come back to the data of like, I have the same conversations with the same creators. They're either buying it from ads or they're buying it with organic traffic. There is no other way to grow.
It's true, 100%. No, I mean that's dude, that's fantastic, and that kind of sums up kind of where we are in terms of like where we teach our clients and everyone who's here. I mean, you all have the strategy to actually turn that attention into clients, to get people to raise their hand, and that's the power of our top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel strategy. And that's why we always encourage you to stick with it. Lauren and I are always like in our Slack channel telling you all, like, make sure you stick with it, make sure you get that content up, ready to go. Because as you're using this broad content that Ryan's teaching, or you've used broad content before, you've gotten attention before, combining that with the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel strategy, that's how you're actually going to warm up those people and convert them. And that's the beauty of being able to have even this, what Ryan is teaching, and combining that and blending it together. And that's how you have a win-win situation. So Ryan, I'm not going to take up too much time. I know more questions are going to keep coming in.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep going. And man, I really appreciate you, the depth that you're providing here. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
just to be able to get that.
I've had to learn how to explain it, because I'm like, no, it just works. Just trust me. And I'm like, okay, nobody gets that. Like, so it's because it's also like, again, like I have also conversations with very large creators too, that are like, that it's hard for them to even grasp. Like, okay, look, here's how this works and why. Like, I promise you it works. Like, let's just give it 6 months and like, let's see. So you're not wrong. Nobody's wrong in like questioning this, and I'm not offended by being questioned either. Because even when I started doing this, I'm like, how is a video about me tipping $100 going to matter of anything? Like, but I think that the internet too, we're in an era or stage of the internet where a lot of people they're used to being sold to some degree on the internet, and now they're just like, well, I want to buy something, but I like that person over that person, so I'm going to buy from that person. And that person, person A does CrossFit and person B does bodybuilding, and well, I'm a CrossFitter, I drink that Kool-Aid, so I'm going to buy from them. So I think that also is playing a role in people's buying decisions as well. I'm a father, like I have a 7-year-old daughter, so it's like I talk about being a parent and like challenges to be a parent, which is broad reach videos, because it's parenting, and it's like I may resonate with like another dad who has a daughter, and he might buy from me instead of somebody who's like talking about time management and doesn't have a kid. So it's like, so there, I think that there's a lot more to be said about the personalities, at least where the internet is right now. And who knows, it might go full circle and niche accounts just blow up again. So, and then like I'll be, changing my strategy, but like for right now, this is like what really works.
This is what works.
But yeah, but I mean, with what I'm talking about right now, this is where like the niche stuff kind of does come into play. But it is significantly harder to go viral when you're talking about niche things. And I've gone viral talking about niche topics a couple times. Like, whereas I've gone viral on the broad reach stuff, dozens of times. Like, my TikTok account is over 100 million views. And like, I can, like 3 of those videos would I consider like my niche. That is, the other like 80% of the videos that went viral were more hobby and interest based. So one thing I want to talk about is like what we call the 59-second course. And this is, for anybody, it's kind of, if you can do this with like what your expertise is, this will teach you how to kind of dumb it down and get it into a minute. So to do a 59-second course, and this is like, you have 1 minute to basically talk. Like YouTube Shorts doesn't go above a minute. So we always keep our videos less than a minute when we're editing them. So, and it's essentially 59 seconds, because if for some reason, if at 60 seconds, like YouTube Shorts will just put it as a normal video and it won't be considered a short. So it's got to be 59 seconds. So the video should have one single outcome or goal. Tell me the exact steps to do it. Give all the tools, apps, and scripts you use to make it happen. Overcome all objections and problems they will have. What you would do if you had that problem. Call to action to go do it now. Like now that you know how to do this, go do it. This is how you build trust in 59 seconds. Give away what people sell, because no one knows who the fuck you are. And this is where it comes down to, and also don't tell me why, I don't care, just the how. As marketers, we're taught to give away the what and the why, but sell the how. And the world of short form, like they see so many people across their feed so many times a day that they just want the how. And then they're going to go like, oh, wow, that is how you do it. Who was that told me that again? Like, and then they follow you. So here, I want to show you guys some examples of what we call 59-second courses. So this first one is from our client, Ryan Pineda. He used to be a couch flipper. That's how he got his start. And this is what I would consider the 59-second course on couch flipping. Let me know if this volume plays too.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
Let me mic and see if that helps. Hang on one sec.
I did a side hustle that got kind of famous on YouTube called couch flipping. Got married when I was young. My wife and I have been together 8 years now. She was 21. I was 24. I'm like, what am I going to do to make money for us? So we just furnished our apartment together. I just sat there looking at it. I'm looking at the couch just like I'm looking at this one. And I said, I bought that for $100. I bought it on Craigslist. I bet you I could sell it for like $300-400. I got such a good deal on it. So I tested the theory. I bought another couch, sold it, made $200. I was like, if I just did this every day, I can make like $6,000 a month. So guess what? Bought a truck on Craigslist for $1,500. Test the theory. I just start buying couches like a madman, dude. It was like the easiest business ever. Grew that to like $8,000 a month net profit as a side hustle. Got storage units, figured out how to post and find deals and do all this stuff. Probably flipped over 1,000 couches.
You figured it all out by yourself?
Yeah. That was like my first real business success and endeavor.
Yeah, so that video was 53 seconds, and that was an older video that we did for Ryan Pineda. He actually spoke that on a podcast, which like usually podcast clips are very incomplete because people tend to go on podcasts and not say everything in detail. That's why we're more of a fan of the direct to platform videos where you're actually speaking to the camera because you can add in all the details. But as you see, this video got 6.6 million views, and this video was before TikTok showed you how many followers came from each video, but a significantly large amount of followers were driven from this video when we posted it. If I had to guess, I would say around 20 to 30,000 came from this video alone. The next one, I can show you specific details of how many followers, because this is one that I made, and I'll let you guys watch this one. This one's 59.67 seconds, and it's got more views now, but it's at 2.9 million views.
To make money on TikTok if you're broke. And by broke, I mean you have a lot of time, but not a lot of cash. You're going to pick from a category, whether it be sports, relationships, or money. You're going to create a themed TikTok account. Something like at basketball shots, at money advice, whatever. Choose it around your theme. And then you're going to start watching TikTok and you're going to find the most viral videos or videos with a lot of views around whatever category you chose. You're going to use the website Snaptik to download the video without the watermark. You're going to put it into an editing software, something like ScreenFlow or iMovie or Premiere Pro. And you're going to change it a little bit. You're going to make it better. And then you're going to re-upload it to your account. And you're going to do this over and over again. This is going to start growing the account, and you're getting the views based on proven viral videos, but they're not the same because they're changing them. You're always going to want to tag the original creator though, because that's the right thing to do. Then here's how you make the money. You're going to go to clickbank.com and you're going to choose a product that you make an affiliate commission for based around whatever category you chose. Choose one that looks like a good product. You're going to put that link in your bio, and then you're going to start driving traffic to the link in the bio. More views you get on the videos, more profile visits to your page, more sales will come from the bio. That's how you make money on TikTok. You have a lot of time, you're broke.
So this would have been considered one of my expertise videos because I used to do affiliate marketing. And this was basically a course on affiliate marketing that I recreated because I actually bought a course about doing this exact same thing, but with blogs like 7 years ago. So I just adapted it to TikTok and made this video. And this video drove 23,781 followers. And that was within 24 hours. Where you see 2.9 is 59 seconds, average watch time 23 seconds, watch full video 13. As the videos get more, you don't really hit that 50% anymore. Like I was saying, it just kind of significantly starts decreasing after the video hits like 1 million. But this would be a 59-second course on TikTok affiliate marketing. And I know that because people actually send me messages. They did this and they make money from doing it. So again, that's something somebody normally would have sold. I put it in a video and I was rewarded with the virality. And just because you do this once, doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to hit. One thing that we do a lot is we try different variations of videos. This was probably, I said this video in some way, probably 4 or 5 different times. And we tried posting it. And this was the version that hit. So just because you film a video once and it didn't do well, if you believe it, I believed in that video. I was like, no, this is a good video. Let's just see what we can do to tweak it. Maybe the hook was bad, or maybe the transition was bad. So don't think you can only make one video and that's it. So here's another video. This one's from Brandon Carter. And this is, when I put the analytics, you should see, this was a video that gained him 10,000 followers. you know, and this kind of clarifies that people do follow you based on your personality, because this video has nothing to do with anything Brandon teaches or does.
Almost every time you model, you have to give the clothes back. Even when I modeled underwear, I had to give it back. This is weird. Y'all should let me keep it. But nah, they wanted that underwear back. I did some modeling for Sean John, and Diddy was there. They put me in a Sean John suit, but they had to tailor it to me for the event, so it fit me perfectly. I did the event, and I asked my agent at the event if I could keep the suit, because they tailored it for me. What they gonna do with this? It's made to fit me like a glove. And she went over and asked Diddy in front of me, and Diddy didn't respond to her. He just looked right at me and said,
So I mean, that video is 30 seconds, and it was a story about him, you know, being an underwear model. And that video got 5.6 million views, but gained him 10,000 followers. And that's more now, because this is slightly like a few month old presentation, so it's more. It's still, this video is still getting shown to this day. But this was like, you know, it was, yeah, technically underwear model. He's in fitness. It does relate there, but like this was just a story and experience that he had, and it crushed.
Brian, can I point something out here about Brandon specifically? Okay, so like, so for everyone that doesn't know, so like Brian talked about it earlier. I'll just give you kind of like the journey. I'll give everyone the journey of basically like how this can like unfold potentially theoretically. So like Brandon does this video. All right. Brandon sells to personal trainers, coaching, right? But what are the people that are going to follow him? Not personal trainers. What's going to happen though is people are going to pay attention to Brandon. There are going to be people who are going to be like, you know what? I'm in fitness. I like to take care of myself. This thing that Brandon's talking about is really interesting. I thought about doing some modeling, but now I see Brandon talking about this personal training coaching. So now all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, you know, I'm a decent looking individual. I take care of myself. Brandon's been able to have this amazing life. Okay, now I'm going to watch Brandon's webinar. Now I see he's talking about how he can do all these things. He can have his income, his lifestyle, traveling, et cetera, et cetera. And now I'm considering going through his personal training program to be able to do what he does. And this all started because I watched, say, this video about him doing this modeling. I never had any intention of doing this personal training thing, but this is what I'm paying attention. I'm looking at all this other stuff that he's doing, and that's resonating with me. And so this is like the sort of buyer's journey. Obviously, that's a dream situation, but at a certain percentage, at volume, at scale, getting those views, getting all that attention, this is how that process unfolds. They may not even been someone who's ever interested in someone doing something like this, but now they're vibing with Brandon and they're saying, hey, I want to do something like that. I want what he has. If this is a path where this is a model for me, then I should start looking at this as a viable opportunity for me to go down this path. And so let me explore what that means. Let me pay attention to more of this content. When Brandon posts a top of funnel, a middle funnel, or bottom funnel piece of content that Ryan has already put together for him, I'm going to pay attention, because now I'm going to say, oh, all right, this is how you go deep down the rabbit hole. And that's how people become clients. All right. So just so you all can see, it's on the surface, you may think, how could that even turn into a client? That's how it turns into a client.
Yeah, it's also like, it's the facets of people's personality that they latch to. Like, I mean, and Brandon's hard to replicate. Like, and I also understand that too. Like, he's a very unique individual. And I mean, he's just hilarious. Like, I mean, so it is like, you know, but the principles here are just like the videos, like we're talking about making, like with the hobbies and interests and like the personality based stuff, like they should be fun for you to make. They shouldn't be like hard. Like, and that's the kind of thing. If it's still hard for you, then it's probably not the right thing to be talking about, you know. And I don't want to say hard as in like to discourage you from doing it, but these should be like, you know, you've had a few drinks with your friends and you're saying this at a bar. Like Brandon's like, you know, yeah, man, you remember when fucking Diddy wouldn't let me have the damn underwear? Like, like, you know, like it was like literally like that's how these videos should come out, you know, and they should be fun. They should be like energizing for you know, you guys when you're making them to, you know, want to make more like that, because, you know, it is validating to make a video like that and then see the views and then you see followers and you're like, oh, like people like me, you know. So it's like they should be, you know, funner to make. Whereas like that, the video I showed you, like how to make money on TikTok, like that was a hard video for me to make. Like it was packed full of like, I had to make sure I like explained everything. Like that was not an easy video to create. You know, whereas, you know, a video, like I have multiple videos that just like I talk about my car, I used to drive a Honda Civic like import with a swapped motor, and I talk about it so freely because it was like it was a car, you know. So they should be easier for you to make, and they should kind of invigorate you to want to create the harder videos to see if you can get those to go viral. And it's like a challenge, you know. So just something I want to show one more thing, and then we can go like to questions. And this is something that we do a lot here. Like on certain accounts, like we can get pretty aggressive with this, and sometimes the clients get a little annoyed with us when we do it. But like we film 2 to 3 hooks for every video, and we use that strategy in 2 ways. One, we post all the videos at the same time and see which one performs the best, and then, you know, obviously that's just the winner. Or we use it if like a client, if like we need to extend their content, we can usually get 2 to 3 versions out of that. So like month 1, we do videos 1 through 30. Version 1, we do videos, you know. So there's 2 ways to kind of do this if you know, like want to implement this. And what I mean by that is just filming multiple hooks. So like, let's say like that Brandon underwear video is like, you know, here's a story when I used to be an underwear model, could be hook 1. Hook 2 could be like, I can't believe they made me give my underwear back after I wore it all day at a modeling shoot. That could be hook 2. And then you just do, I mean, you could technically do as many as you want, but we found that 2 to 3 is like the sweet spot. And then you post those videos, and these are just some examples of posting the same video with 2 different intros, the kind of the results that you can get. And now these don't have to be at the same time. We've seen split differences like this, posting it like a month later, same piece of content. For me, this was like 2,300 views versus 151,000 views. Brandon here, 268,000 versus 3.7 million. Me again, 164,000 versus 2.9 million. Now these are the same videos, just with different hooks. And then this is like 5 videos that we posted, that all 5 of them were the same video with 5 different hooks. I think like all these accumulated to over 1 million views. So this one had 835, 63, 6,000, 8,000, and 217. And then we have more examples here. 7.3 million versus 66,000 for Onic. And then again, 2,000 versus 191. So that's what I mean by like, don't be afraid to, like, if you believe in a video, to put more effort into it to try to see if you can't get it to get more views. And that could just be slapping a new 2-second intro onto the same video. And again, that intro doesn't even need to be in the same location. You could just like slap, you know, you could say something outside and the video goes to inside. You can say a hook and then it comes on to like a podcast clip. It really doesn't matter, because it's like Frankenstein and content together like tends to perform really well. So yeah, so that's like all the slides I got. And I would encourage you like to start testing your content if you haven't yet. And something that we do, you know, we get pretty aggressive if accounts aren't getting views and stuff. And we go pretty aggressive with the split testing, and it almost always spikes in an account. I was recently doing this on my account for the last like 30 days, and my account hadn't gone viral in like over a month. And I was like, okay, we started split testing heavy, each video, 3 variations on 3 videos a day. So it was like 9 videos a day. And I just recently had a 3 million view video that gained like 20,000 followers on my account. So like this stuff works, and like nobody really talks about it, because it's, I mean, we only do this on TikTok. Like, because on Instagram, people tend to get a little finicky if you post 5 of the same video in a row. They, even if they think you're testing, like people call me out for testing all the time because like I talk about it. But we usually stick to TikTok, and whatever video does the best, we put to the other platforms.
Gotcha. Okay. That's actually good insight. Okay.
Yeah. And you should know within the first like 4 to 6 hours which video is significantly outperforming the rest.
That's good data, actually. So everyone got that. You know, that same day you'll know, 4 to 6 hours. I mean, that's pretty good to know if something's going to be taking off. Okay, we can jump into questions again, Ryan.
Yeah. That's all I have, and then I mean, this is an old screenshot of my Instagram, but if people aren't following me, which they probably are, but yeah, we can start sharing that.
Perfect. Okay. L asked, and Lauren actually answered this, but we'll also get your take on it, because Lauren's pretty spot on about this. But L asked, does the text style of captions matter? Meaning, should we model the common captions we see the masses using, or should we make them unique to our own branding or style, or does it even matter?
I mean, really, again, going back to what I said earlier, like the text, it's, I don't want to say it's like unnecessary. like, because it does help, and people do watch videos without audio. So I mean, but no, like you can make it to your brand. I would always focus, like, there's a reason that, like, when we start, like, that everything is yellow and green, and it's because it's easily readable. So if you're gonna make it your brand, like, choose a font that's easily readable, and avoid, like, certain colors because they're very hard to read. You want it to add to the experience for the viewer, so it's easy to read. But no, it does not matter what font you use. It does not matter, whether you do crazy big or small. They just, in my opinion, they do need to be there to a degree. But yeah, like, any font works. It's just make sure it's a readable font. Like, when we made the captions, like, I literally typed into Google bold font because I wanted one that was big and easy to read. And then the first font that came up, and it was a free font, which is the font that was copied by everybody, which was called the bold font. Like, and that's how I found it. There are a lot of bold fonts. That was just the first one that I found. And that became and then we found, like, I mean, I would avoid red in your captions. Red, for some reason, is very hard to read. People use it all the time, though, and it's like a pet peeve of mine. I just hate the red in captions. Like, even sometimes my editors will put red, and I'm like, what are you doing? That's ugly. Don't do that. Like, so it's, but I mean, that, again, I would say that's 90% personal preference, but I do feel like it's hard to read certain colors. No, else I see pink is actually a great color. Pink and purple look, but more the lighter shades, not the dark shades.
Yeah, because dark, just from like an optics perspective, just looking at a video, it'd be a lot harder to see. So yeah, definitely the brighter ones are good. Josh asked, what percentage of a short form video would you say is the edit?
I mean, if you're a good speaker, the edit doesn't matter. But if you're a bad speaker, you can edit it into a good video if you spoke the right like details and like meat of the video was spoken. So I'm a big believer in, like, you have to start with a good canvas first, which is like the person who's speaking, and then get that message out first. And then sometimes they say the message is just unorganized, and then that's when the edit plays a huge part, because you just organize it. It's like a puzzle. You got to put it together the right way. But no, there's people that can just speak straight through with zero editing, and they still are probably going to go viral. And that, I would encourage them to work towards that, but that's why editing is there, because not like editing. I'm an editor, so I love editing, because it's like you can make a piece of crap great by just, reorganizing and putting things there, as long as it's like a good, good piece of thing to start with. So I do think there is where people, like, a big difference for people on short form now is how they speak on camera. As far as like their confidence and conviction, like it has to be amplified to a degree. Like, people don't want to be in the middle anymore. They don't, like, they want black or white. They don't want gray. So it's like, and that could be based on, the political climate and how that was, like, 2 years ago, and how it's probably going to be again here coming up in like another 2 years. Like, the way content was produced during those times, and when TikTok and short form blew up, it was super divisive. It was like you either love or hate something. And I think that bleeds over into how people view everything. And I think we're still kind of living in that if you're just kind of lukewarm, you're not going to stand out. So you have to, like, if you love carnivore diet, like, you need to absolutely fucking love carnivore diet, and that needs to come through in your video. And I think that's more important than any editing, is the conviction than when somebody's talking.
Bam, that's it, man. Okay, perfect. I love that. All right, Josh also asked, would you say posting natively on each social media platform makes a difference rather than schedule them on the planner, like Hootsuite, Sprout, those sorts of things?
We post everything manual. So, I mean, posting is actually a problem inside the company, because we post so many videos. It's actually almost a full-time job for a person to post. We split it up across multiple people inside my company. I don't necessarily, like, the scheduling apps are great, but I've found that none of them actually post automatically to TikTok. They just send you a reminder. So that doesn't help me at all, and if I still have to post to TikTok, it doesn't take much longer to post to the other 2 or 3. And I mean, we normally post for the big 4, like for most of the clients, which is TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and Facebook Reels. And in most cases, Instagram and Facebook link together anyways, so you're posting the same one. But there are others, Twitter, LinkedIn, they're all great. It's just most of our clients see the most success from those 4. So yeah, I have not had success with any of the apps, and also I do. Part of me has a little conspiracy theory in me, that I know all the viral videos we've made have been manually posted, so it's like, would that hinder the growth? And like, like, I don't know. Like, I just don't trust anything that's third party. I would rather, and for most, because we're posting so many videos inside the company, you know, it would cost me just equally as much to have a software doing it for all the accounts as it would to just have one human being doing it. And I tend, in this case, I trust the softwares more to be on time, but I trust the human that's not gonna, the human I can call. I can be like, yo, this needs to come down, this needs to go out, change this. Hey, you misspelled that, we need to fix this. Like, so just some experience there. But yeah, I've just never had any experience like anything that like people are like, oh, it'll make it much easier, has never worked for me.
There you go. So just so everyone knows, like Ryan at his scale, at his level, the amount of videos that go out each week, each day is still doing it manually. So just something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind.
I mean, I also think if you're posting a video across 4 platforms, it takes all of 10 minutes. Like if in your own business, like you can't commit to that. Like, and like, I mean, eventually it gets to a point where like you have to check out from that. Like when you have somebody that you're paying to do that, because it's also messes with your head. Like I don't post my own videos anymore because like I don't want to see any of my videos before they go out, because I'm like the worst critic for my own videos. So it's like I just need to get posted and then I look at the data. So just something to be mindful of there. At some point you will have somebody to do that for you. Generally it's like, maybe like it's an operator or like your creative director or somebody who's working underneath you. But yeah, I mean, it takes all of like 3 minutes, unless you have slow Wi-Fi. Like that's it. Yeah. And also we're copy and pasting the same caption across all the platforms too. So it's like you're just copy and pasting and uploading. It's not, generally like a very hard thing to do.
Yeah. And you guys are also doing this, like you're pushing the short form on LinkedIn as well, and anything on Twitter?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had, like, we are for some clients we're posting, but nothing is hit like it has on all the, I do think something like LinkedIn, like I don't think it says like all the current platforms, like the bigger ones, are like they're skewing obviously younger demographic. That's where these types of videos are hitting to. Like I would say 18 to 25. Like that's my main demographic. And it's starting to skew upwards, when it comes to the other platforms. Like Facebook is a little older than Instagram, which is a little older than TikTok. But at the end of the day, like I think LinkedIn's still a little like, I just don't think people are on there the same way they are on there. So I would say that the content should be a little different on LinkedIn, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what that looks like. And I don't think anybody on LinkedIn does either. Like, because it's just a different mindset when you're on LinkedIn.
That's true. We got a couple.
But Twitter, I'm pretty sure Twitter would be the same.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Jeanette asked, is split testing a special function on TikTok, or you just actually posting the same video 3 times and getting data that way?
Manually posting it three separate times, same video. But just to be clear, there's no watermark. So it's like, I know there's like that. If you post your TikTok video to Instagram and it has the TikTok watermark, which is what happens if you edit inside the app and then you download the video and you upload it elsewhere. All of ours are edited externally, so we have like the file, and then we post that raw file to all the platforms. But there's no changes to the video at all.
Perfect. Okay. Christian asks, what's your research process when you get a new client and you want to grow their account?
Well, usually it starts with like a 2-hour breakdown of them as a person. Like, so we naturally, we're trying, like when we start working with a client, we're trying to find the things that the internet doesn't know about them and kind of bringing that to light. Like, so if there's already videos about it, or other content that they've written about or they've talked about it, yes, we're going to kind of pull from that first to kind of get an idea. Okay, this is what they're obviously comfortable putting out there because they've made a bunch of videos about this, and then it's like, then, we do it over Zoom or we do it in person. It depends on like, where, like our schedules, but, usually in an hour or 2 over Zoom or an hour or 2 in person. Like, I'm also very abrasive when I ask questions. Like, I'm like, oh, so how much money do you really make? Like, how does that look like? Like, what is this? Like, how many kids do you have? Like, do you want more kids? How do you plan to educate your kids? Like, so it's like, I just start asking questions, and then we're just kind of writing down like in Notes app, like, you know, what they're saying. And then it kind of comes, we start putting that, you know, into buckets. Like if we get a bunch, like for example, one of our clients is Chris Crone. He has 4 kids and he homeschools all of them, and he spends $250,000 a year paying for homeschooling. So like, I didn't know that until I started asking him about how he's educating his children. And then it turned into, and now we have a bunch of videos about how he's able to afford paying $250,000 a year to homeschool his kids. You know, so it's kind of just going deep with people and asking, you know, and even with yourself too. Like I've had me and my team break down me, to where we can kind of maybe find stuff that I don't necessarily think is relevant, but might be relevant, or just that I've forgotten about. And it takes a couple questions to kind of spark that. So, but yeah, that's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like a perfect process, but it's also like to just, if you're doing this for clients and you're trying to help clients do that, like you need to get, like, they have to trust you enough to where you can feel like they can ask you, you know, these things. And then they kind of open up to you, and kind of share these things. And that's where the gold does come from. And it's also too, you know, like we usually come prepared with like a list of videos, but it's also videos that, like, you know, like that underwear model video with Brandon, like that video wasn't planned. That was we made a video about him as a fitness model. And then he happened to mention like when he worked with Diddy, and I was like, oh, you worked with Diddy? What was that like? And then that story came out. You know, so it is like, you know, I'm not going to say it's like easy to always get stuff out like that, but it's like, if you're like me as a filmer or my team, when we, like, they're trained to kind of dig deeper on those questions.
Sorry. No, man, that's fantastic. Is just that process of like, you're looking at diagnosing, you know, where they currently are, what you're going to extract from them, because they don't know what they don't know. Mm-hmm. Right. And your ability to go in and have that conversation. I mean, that's fantastic, man. Jeanette also asked, what's your opinion on going live on Instagram and TikTok? It's not short form, but does that have an effect on the overall, maybe like reach and those sorts of things?
One thing, I mean, I am currently going live on YouTube once a week for 2 hours a week now. And I have seen good results from that. Specifically, I'm doing that for the long form aspect of, like, you know, I have more majority of my brand is built on short form. So I'm like, okay, you know, I don't really have the time to do a podcast or, like, you know, set that up. So for me, that is kind of my long form, and it's actually doing really, like, I think it's doing very well. But as far as going live on TikTok and IG, I don't have too much experience. I have done it before, and I know it's really good for like the bonding and like with your current followers. And in some cases, it's really good for reach. But one thing I really do think it's good for is if you sell, I think selling should be happening on lives. So if you do have a sizable audience and you want to go live and just talk to people and then casually, you know, throw in your sales pitch, I think that I have a friend who has close to 1 million followers on TikTok, and he goes live every day, and he sells a course, and he sells the majority of his course sales come through his live. So I do think it's a great strategy. I've always just been so focused on growing that I haven't really implemented it, you know, to its fullest to really tell you how awesome or not awesome it is.
That's awesome, man. Okay. I think you pretty much nailed it. I have one last question. I just kind of wanted to like reframe one of the questions that came through from Josh Pass, but I just kind of want to pinpoint it more towards you and your journey, Ryan. If, you know, you've been able to do a lot of this virality, you've grown your brand over years too, but like you said earlier, like you really took off like with TikTok. You were able to really like figure that out and push forward with that. Maybe the question I'm not really asking is not necessarily what percentage you would say has to do with like selling versus doing that virality. We talked a lot about that 80-20 earlier, but just how do you approach in terms of, I'm going to do that viral broad content, at the same time I'm also going to use it in a way that I'm going to sell, so I'm still going to grow my business, I'm still going to do that. How do you kind of blend the two together to see like where you're focusing your efforts on both, or how you do that? Is it very natural and organic to where you just start getting DMs, or like how do people find out that you actually do this for them?
Well, I mean, I just recently started. I'm starting to sell on my platform, and it is a challenge because there is a difference that happens on your account, and I've seen this across multiple accounts. There's like creators, and then there's marketers, and it's like you have to have two different hats. You have to be a creator to be able to get reach and actually make content that people want to enjoy from a viral standpoint. But you got to be a marketer because you got to pay the bills and you got to sell. I think one problem is slightly people sell premature and they don't grow enough, so it doesn't sustain them. Like they don't get enough quick because, like I was saying earlier, how your following, it gets very small and you sell to your pool of people really fast. Like if you have 2,000 followers, it's like you don't have much to pull from. So it's like unless you have like a $25,000 product or a $50,000 offer, that if you sell one or two, you're going to be good for a whole year. It's like you still have to grow. So I think people just need to figure out like, okay, I need to go into growth mode and I need to know that this is not going to be from a lucrative standpoint, but also too, it's like mingling the two. Like our clients do it all the time. Like, they literally sell. I think the selling, like the viral becomes more important if you're selling a lot because you still need to be reaching new people. And if you just went to all selling, it's going to kind of like pull down your engagement. But with that said, I'm testing a lot of things. Like I think the live is a really good option, but it's hard to kind of like going live and getting an audience that accumulates live versus going viral is two different things too. So it's like, right now it was like, I mean, I know for a fact, like I had a live on Wednesday night, there was only like 20 people on it, but one of those people bought a $12,000 offer of mine, and it came straight from the live. So I mean, I'll go live to 12 people a lot if I'm going to make 12 grand every time I do it, So I think it's just, you have to kind of find, but it is understanding that when you're going viral and the people that are following you, they are kind of cold, like when this happens, so it's thinking a bit like ads. It's like a nurture process. And I like non-direct selling. Like I like I have this. If you're interested, go ahead and shoot me a DM, or I like the more simple and that like less aggressive approach. And I think that, continually doesn't burn out the account. So, I mean, but if you came in aggressive and every day you're hammering them with like 5 videos and like you're constantly selling, I think you will see an engagement dip. But, somebody like Brandon, like he pitches every single day in his stories very hard. Plus he's running ads all the time, so it seems to be working very well for him. So I do believe the stories are the best place to sell. Just because it's like your email list, but you also have to nurture the stories, because if you sell all the time, then the story views are going to get lower. So I think it's just a matter of like finding that balance that works for the audience. And the only way to know is to push the boundaries and see what happens.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. Look, this is, and I agree with everything you said. It's about understanding how much you are delivering value, content, broad content, viral content, value, educational to the audience. At the same time, you're able to extract. And if you're not extracting all the time, every single moment, you continue to build and grow, and people get to see, and they get to come, and that gets to, your audience gets to grow. So, dude, man, Ryan, this has been killer. This has been awesome. This has been incredible training, man. Appreciate you taking time out on Friday to be able to do this for everyone. I know it's late. Some of you missing dinner for this. Some of you are missing sleep for this. Really appreciate it, because Ryan, we have people from all over the world here. And so it's just really cool to see people staying on and asking questions, and it's been just really lively, and just really appreciate it, man. There's been a ton of value bombs just dropped for everyone. Just super fantastic. Just to wrap up, I mean, it looks like people have already started following you. Is there
Awesome.
anything you want them to see in general? I even dropped that the Cub formula document. I dropped it in our chat, and I'll make sure that goes out to anyone who sees a replay as well. But dude, man, this is fantastic. Any last words?
No, I mean, just also make sure your analytics are turned on in all your accounts so you can see. I know that's something I think, because it is like, it will validate, like when I say the going viral, like you get that to happen so you can see like the followers, you can see the retention, you can see everything that's happening. And I know a lot of people just kind of, I mean, we've even started with new clients and forgot to turn their analytics on after we're like, oh shit, we need to turn those on, so it's like understanding the data, because I mean, even just like in sales, like how many people contacted you, how many people did you reach out to, how many phone calls did you have, what happened, like nothing, numbers don't lie. And it's the same way with video. I just think that people tend to let their egos get in the way when they're making videos. So it's like, oh, this is great information, and it's like, well, the data just says this is not great information, so maybe we should change it. And that's not saying that it's not, it's just you have to reformulate it in a way to where the data likes it, you know. So and then like the key metrics to look for, like everything on the internet is driven by watch time. So it's like, if you can keep people watching your videos longer, you will succeed on any platform for growth. Like that's how YouTube is driven, that's how Instagram is driven, that's how TikTok is driven, that's how Shorts is driven. Like they just want you to keep people on their platform, you know. So if you do that and you are good at that, like you're going to be rewarded with views. And then it's also just that, like, I truly believe that, like, I mean, views tend to fix everything. You know, if your sales are down, you're probably not reaching enough people, so get more views. And if you're, you know, if your followers are down, you can fix that by getting more views, you know. So just focus on driving views. You know, that's not saying you forget about everything else, you know, but focus on that. And, you know, you're by nature, your videos will get better. That's why creators like Mr. Beast are so successful. It's like they are super analytical about getting views. So
perfect, man. Yeah. And you give yourself that 4 to 6 hour window before you start reviewing like videos?
Well, most all the videos, like TikTok is like the slowest. Like I think you get data after like 48 hours. So like your videos need to be posted, and then you go back in and you kind of start looking at, you know, the individual videos. And we focus on the analytics on TikTok are far superior than all the other apps. So like that's why I say, you know, and you know, I know TikTok for pretty much everybody that's called TikTok will not be your lucrative platform. Like it's just not. The buying patterns on TikTok are not like they are on Instagram. Or, you know, the subscriber depth isn't like it is on YouTube. And that's just a fact. Like you can't but what TikTok has is it's like the gatekeeper of cool. Like if you make a good video on TikTok, it will work everywhere else. And how do you make good videos on TikTok? You look at their analytics because they're telling you everything, you know. So, you know, and there isn't a better software than TikTok's analytics. I am working on one, but as of right now, there's not. So it's the best that you have. And so make sure your analytics are turned on TikTok, and, you know, just look at your older, like, because once you turn it on, then it's every video from then on out, like, but it doesn't populate the old videos, unfortunately. So it's like the new videos you put out, like, just, you know, look at the numbers, and then you don't have to like sit there all day. It's like, it's very easy to look, okay, this, you know, and because they even tell you, like, here, I'll show you before I end, I'll show you one of my recent viral videos. Let me just send it from my phone because this will be eye-opening for you guys to see this. And you'll know like why I say that hooks matter for pretty much everything. Hang on one sec. I'm gonna find this video. I'll screenshot it for you guys. Yeah, we post a lot of videos on my account right now. Okay, here it is. Should I pay off my app? So I'll screenshot this. Send that to myself so you guys can see this. Share my screen. Okay, is my airdrop not going to work right now? That'll be amazing.
That's how it goes, man.
I know, right? I got 1 second. So it's like I'm such an Apple fanboy, and I need my airdrop to always work.
Same. And then when you need it, that's in the moment of distress is when you need it, and that's when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man! I got all these people watching me right now. Okay, here we go. I think now it's working. All right. So share screen. So this is like when you're looking at it. So this video got 2.9 million views. This is like, it tells you like where people are finding you, but the main thing is the retention rate graph. And this is like what a viral video looks like here. The more viral the video is, the retention will be like just like a straight line from start to finish. So if you make a video and like, this is like 6 seconds here. So like this video basically died after 6 seconds. We lost 55% of the audience. Like, even on a video that got 2.9 million views, like 55% of the people were gone after the first 6 seconds. So the more you can work on the intros of your videos and the hooks and like what's happening there, the more success you're going to see. And then there's just one more. I'll show you this. Let me see if this works now. I want to show you one more screenshot, and then we can kind of end it there. Let's see. All right, cool. It's working. So let me stop the share and then pull this one up. So this is the other one. So this is like, so total play time. So it's 2.9 million views, average watch time 26.3 seconds, watch full video 18.4, new followers 16,122. But these are the numbers you look at. So like average watch time. So this is why I say like going viral is important. So, you know, 18.41% of 2.9 million watch this video from start to finish. So that's why I say the kind of the free retargeting kicks in, and the more views you get, the more people that are going to see your other stuff. So we'll say 3 million views times 0.19. So that's 570,000 people that are now being fed all of my other videos, like in the background. So that's like,
awesome.
Like, you know, the higher this watch time is, you know, and probably for the first, like, you know, 250, 300, 400,000, the average watch time was significantly higher than 26. Like, again, once it starts going viral, it's showing to everybody. Like, people are like very cold, you know, so it does start skewing downward. So, but again, the retention graph, like that smooth line, like if in 2 seconds your video goes like this, that means you should work on your hooks. You know, that means that nobody saw whatever was in your video beyond 2 seconds. So that's why I say, like, don't think a video is bad just because it does bad the first time. It could just be the hook.
Gotcha. Yeah. Perfect.
So yeah, so that's like analytics in a nutshell.
Awesome. Analytics in a nutshell. I love that. All right. Perfect. Thank you all, everyone, for jumping on. Thank you, Ryan. Let's give a round of applause to Ryan, man. Thank you so much for doing this. This is really, really fantastic. Super valuable. I've already given everyone your Instagram and TikTok in our Slack channel, so they all have that. They'll all be able to find you.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, just really awesome, and just excited for everything you're doing and everything you're doing for the industry, man. Super fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and thank you, Laura, for sharing the audience and you know, give me some exposure. But
totally, that was awesome, Ryan.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope that was eye-opening for everybody, because that's why I tend to be really good at going against what everybody says. So
that's what we want to hear, man. That's what we want to hear. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Amazing. Thank you so much, Ryan. Grateful for you. So how amazing was that? Now remember, if you want to apply to be a part of the mastermind so you can come on meetings like this every single month, plus a ton of other things that we give you access to inside of the membership, then go to the link in the description box, the show notes, click that, watch the video. It's 20 minutes long or something, I don't know. It explains exactly how it all works, and there's an application right there for you to fill out. My team will then look at that application, and then we will either approve it, or if we don't approve it, we will send you some resources that will help you right now. And if it gets approved, then you can book a quick 15-minute interview to make sure that we vibe with each other and we feel like you're going to be a perfect fit for the mastermind and the membership. So there is a link in the description box below. Fill that out, and without further ado, tons more stuff coming to you. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.